and feel the fortress breached twice.
Twice.
Let's
Brighton and Burnley, boys. Hello and welcome to another episode of FPL Escapades. I'm Kshitij, and as always, I'm joined by the usual suspects Akshay and Anand to discuss the teams that we'll be going with in Game Week 23 and also the Game Week 22 that has gone by. Boys, welcome back. It's been an eventful game week for a lot of FPL managers with the high scoring teams. Akshay, how did you fare in Game Week 22? How was your game week, and what are your transfer plans for Game Week 23?
Oh yeah, so great to have a great score. Finally, I bagged 97 points, managed to just stay away from 100. So I decided to go with Salah as I mentioned in the last episode, and I'm not too gutted because that was like a good call on paper. But the same time, we also praised Brighton for their defense, and I think that's three clean sheets on the bounce, and the last two being against Spurs and Liverpool. So that's something to see, and maybe you do not need to target Brighton as a team right now. So planning to keep Bruno as my captain going forward and not be too greedy with Salah. So yeah, not too gutted. Like if I'm getting 97 points and I have a 200k green arrow, so upwards and onwards. Yeah, let's go.
What about you, Kshitij? How was your game week?
We'll talk about my game week, but I'm really interested about Akshay. I took Akshay's advice and went with Salah captain myself, took Son out. Thankfully, none of Son did not fire. Unfortunately, neither did Salah, and just changed my captain armband from Bruno to Salah. But we'll talk about that. Akshay, interestingly enough, Justin, I see we were talking about how he's has been in your team since game week one, and in the last couple of game weeks as well, he's been returning huge points for you. So definitely, you'd be a happy manager when you see Justin in your team and the kind of returns that he's giving you.
Yeah, so this guy is someone who was impressed ever since lockdown, like post lockdown, and we had in fact Anand was a huge fan of him personally, but I don't know why he decides to bench him week after week and suffering those points again and again. I don't think he's going to make that mistake again. So personally, if you look at my team for the next week, I do plan to play Justin ahead of Holding, who plays Aston Villa. So Aston Villa, I don't know why, because they don't look like the same side in just a matter of weeks, and they're conceding a lot of big chances. So you've seen Emi Martinez make a lot of saves, but I don't think that's going to stay for all of the games. So they might lose clean sheets there, and that's where my eye is. So I think Justin is someone who's going to again haul against Wolves, because Wolves do not look decent in front of goal. They, although they have a new striker in Willian Jose, who's impressed, but I don't see them scoring. So as I mentioned, going with Bruno captain for now. And my transfer plan that I decided so far is I plan to get a Burnley defender in because of their double game week, which we have seen just announced yesterday. So my plan is not to go heavy with a Ben Mee or a Tarkowski, because all I'm looking for is just clean sheet points. And there is one eye on Nick Pope as well. So we might have that love story all over again with Nick Pope, but I'm not ready to let go Emi Martinez. So just planning to upgrade Dunn to Loughton, which is actually a very sad transfer on paper because I'm kind of upgrading my Burnley defenders. But that's where my plan is, not to waste that free transfer and just hold that transfer and bank, like take it to game week 24, which is a double for Burnley.
Yeah, makes sense as well, given the kind of upcoming game weeks that Burnley have. Anand, when you look at Akshay's team, I see three City assets, a similar story with me as well, and I also see Salah. So, do you feel that Akshay or FPL managers in general it will be a safe bet going into the next game week with the four assets or five assets from Liverpool and City? What is your take on that, given the kind of fixtures and form that each of the team are in?
I think the fixture does suit Liverpool in particular because City is playing good football, and because of that, although a lot of guys are saying that it might be a dull affair, a tight game, but the way I see it is, such games you never know, and if both teams, come up, come out with attacking intent, I think it could well be a 3-2 or a 2-2 sort of a match. and a lot depends on this match, especially for Liverpool. They have to win it. A draw is not a solution for them. They have to attack, and that is how City likes to play. So yeah, it's going to be an intriguing contest between the two teams. So maybe the defensive guys, you might be wondering if you should keep defenders in your team or not. But yeah, like maybe can the likes of Diaz or Stones, you can probably risk benching them. But Cancelo should play irrespective if the match is against Liverpool. He should play because he has this attacking potential in him, and he may well be giving a lot of returns. So yeah, probably the centre backs are the ones that I feel can be removed, but otherwise, but removed as in like on your bench. No point removing them out of your team just because they're facing Liverpool. Yeah.
Absolutely makes sense as well. And I'm definitely going to take a feather off your book as well, and might go ahead and bench either Diaz or Stones going into the next game week, since I have a triple of City and Salah as well. My game week was good enough. I think for me, just that one, sorrow that I have is not just removing the captain's armband from Bruno to Salah after listening to Akshay rant about it in the last episode. But yeah, to each his own. I think I this kind of tells me that you play your own game. FPL is something that you always do on your own. You can take knowledge from everybody else. There's a lot of punditry on Twitter as well. But definitely, when the time comes to make your decisions, you make your own decisions. So 82 points, not really sad. A green arrow of 50k, almost touching 100k for the first time ever in FPL. So happy with that. Emi Martinez again conceding 3 goals, but still giving 4 points. I mean, hats off to this guy, man. But yeah, definitely Antonio, Martial, and DCL, all the three of my forwards finally firing. And I think that is where I made up most of my points, especially Martial. And a huge shout out to Akshay as well for owning Bruno, Rashford, and Martial. I mean, that was great when after the United game of that 9-0 thumping, which, uh, you know, uh, I couldn't really sleep after that game. And when I saw Akshay's team, I really could not sleep. Great punts as well. My team, I'm lining up my team for the next game week with the captain's armband on Antonio for now. I mean, this is again definitely not the finalized team. Antonio is a punt that I would like to take, but the kind of situation that I'm in my mini leagues right now, I don't think I can afford to take such big risks as of yet. Diaz and Stones do start for now, given that Diaz, Pep has already spoken so highly of him, and sort of he's not going to be rotated and definitely going to start the game. Stones is somebody who I feel I might bench given my transfer, and yeah, the captain's armband for now is Antonio. I want to play Souček. I do not want to bench him anymore because I've Souček for me is what Justin is for Anand. I've been benching him and I've been losing out on points left, right, and center. And what a player, man! West Ham, I think, are coming into a form of their own. And shout out to Lingard, J-Lings as well for scoring a brace on his debut. It was pretty cool to see, and really happy moments for all United fans. My transfer strategy going into the next game week is basically walking Akshay's line of getting in a Burnley defender, because their fixtures, their upcoming 4 fixtures are way too good to not, tingle your brain about okay, might be the right choice. And also I'm losing faith in Arsenal now. I think Bellerin, as many points that he gave and as many blanks that he gave, I think my uh, his time in my team is over now. So Ben Me, I think going forward gives a little bit of attacking threat as well. And as Akshay said, I do not want to spend really heavy on any other asset, because I'm looking for is basically clean sheet points going forward. So yeah, that is what my strategy is. Who will be on my bench? It will either be Stones or me, but definitely going into a similar sort of a direction, and also really confused on the formation that I need should play, because again, like I said, Souček is somebody who I really want in my playing 11 now. So yeah, that's my team. And Akshay, any thoughts on how on say 𝗬𝗟𝗡 or 𝗵𝗡, or what formation should I go ahead with?
No, I really like that plan because I am personally going for a Burnley defender myself. But I have the same question, like who are you going to bench out of the eight attackers? Like I personally wouldn't want to bench Suchek, but so probably the last guy who you'd want to bench is DCL. He's playing United, so maybe you have that he's playing United, so just get rid of him and bench him. But it's okay. Like I don't think DCL is going to haul big because we are playing decent football, and I don't see Everton getting a lot of chances against us. So probably bench DCL out of those eight, and yeah, really like that 𝗵𝗡 shout out because he might chip in with an odd goal. But one thing that I would like to just mention here is we've all seen such instances of defensive teams having a juicy double game week. So if you remember Brighton, when the famous old Duffy and Dunk were pairing in the back, so we had a terrible return for that. So I just watch out for that if you go heavy on Burnley. So I'd personally not go heavy on Burnley and just keep it to one defender for now. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense, and that is what my plan is. And either coming to your point, I would either bench DCL or Gundogan, or taking my punt or a differential punt kind of that. If I do not go ahead and bench Stones or Diaz from defense. Anand, about time, man. How was your game week 22? Did you fare better than us? Were you uh, getting green arrows? Did you get green arrows the last game week? What was it like for you?
Yeah, just again, like always, just before coming to my team, I just wanted to ask a couple of things. So Kshetraj and Akshay both can answer together regarding this. So you both are planning to save your transfer, planning to use it and bring a Burnley player this game week itself.
So
So
I
this,
personally chucked out. Had I not transferred in Salah for Son last game week, I would have thought of uh, using only one transfer. But since that ship has sailed for me, at least I am definitely going to get in a Burnley defender for the upcoming game weeks. Akshay, what about you, man?
yeah, so my transfer is more like a dead transfer because Dunn is anyway not playing. So all I'm doing is just planning my team for the double game weeks and the mega double game week, which is double game week 26. So my plan is right. My plan right now is not to use my wildcard to get into those double game weeks and make my team for those double game weeks, and use the wildcard to get out of it. Because what happens is when you have a double game week team, you ideally end up with 15 players, and you always have that conundrum who to bench and which keeper to play. So I don't want to have that dilemma in my head going into the remaining game weeks after 26. So I would personally use the wildcard to get out of a double game week team and not use it before it. Yeah, that's my plan.
So, so Akshay, don't you want to like save a transfer and then move to game week 24? Because game week 24 is a double game week, and you'll probably have you'll have two free transfers to use then. So, because this week, even if you get in Loughton, you are not playing him. So, don't you think it might be a little better if you like save a transfer and then use it later, because then you'll be closer to game week 24 and it'll be easier for you and to make a better decision than with having two transfers.
Yeah, so the thinking with Lowton or any Burnley defender in that matter, for that matter, is I can actually play them this game week as well. I have that option.
All right.
So if I do plan to bench one of Stones or not Cancelo, obviously I might bench Stones. So I might go with a cheeky punt on Lowton.
Yeah, it makes sense. Totally makes sense. Makes sense if you are bringing Loden and then you're planning to bench
Yeah.
Stones.
So
That totally
if they
makes
had a difficult fixture this game week, I understand your point that why make the transfer now. But the thinking is to use that transfer for
They're
now
playing
and for
Brighton.
the double game week.
They they are playing mighty Brighton now.
Mighty Brighton,
So
mighty Brighton.
they're playing
So
mighty
I,
Brighton. So
I I
yeah.
made a very bad call with the Arsenal Wolves game 0-0. So I'd not like to say that all over again. But this is again one of those fixtures. Pope against that the Sanchez, who's like impressed ever since
Yeah.
replacing Matt Ryan. So also talking about Matt Ryan, Aston Villa will be facing Runarsson because I heard that Matt Ryan is injured and Leno is
Yeah.
suspended.
Ryan has a hip problem.
So Runarsson, we have seen his struggles in goal. So you never know. Grealish might get lucky.
he doesn't need to be lucky. He's playing so well. I mean,
Yeah.
just having a ball this time. Anyway, coming to my team now. Finally, um, so I
Finally
had a
showing off
decent.
Bruno captaincy points.
Uh, yeah, that worked. I was pretty surprised when I heard that Kshitij has changed his plans. But what happens after the call is something that I have no control of. But yeah, it's something that I was surprised. But yeah, it did work for me personally because Bruno did bang in, and honestly, um, Bruno is a very safe player to have, and he did get 17 points, but he never looked like getting 17 because if you guys remember, for the first 4 goals, Bruno was not even involved,
Yeah, I
and
think
it
he
was
had just
the
one
last
assist
four.
in the first 6 goals.
Yeah, in the first six he just had one. So it was the seventh, eighth, ninth goal where he
Yeah.
was involved, and towards the end of the match and it just happens sometimes. Just like how Salah, came from the bench and scored a couple of goals and an assist. So it was that sort of a day. And but still, why I went with Bruno was, it was kind of plain and simple. It was because Southampton likes to play football, and they were not having the best of defense. They were handed debuts to Ramsey, who came in instead of 𝗘𝗍𝗍 and they had a very young another debut guy making a in the another midfielder who was making a debut, and then he got the red just after 90 seconds. So that was the entire thing why I went with Bruno. But apart from that, as you can see, every other player did give me points. Alonso was it was really risky, to be honest. I didn't know if he would start or not. And luckily for me, he did start. He gave a clean sheet as well. Apart from Salah, everybody returned with points. So this is a decent team in my opinion. And and if Alonso doesn't play again in the next match, I'll probably get in. Justin or Dallas will come in from the bench. But yeah, I think with Alonso, I really like this fund because he does play like a forward when Chelsea is attacking,
Yeah.
and he's somebody that you can look out for. But again, he's very risky.
So
I just have him
this
because
is
I
like
have
the
Justin
Marcus.
and Dallas on my bench.
This is like the Marcus
But
Alonso under that guy, the famous Antonio Conte, playing
yeah,
three at the
so
back and four in midfield. So Antonio Conte did that, and Marcos Alonso, we remember him like chipping it at the far post and scoring headers and scoring bangers as well. We saw one last week as well. So yeah,
yeah,
I
he
personally
was
like
an
that punt, but I'm really keen to see when he plans to play Ben Chilwell because that could be a fixture thing, and he decides to rotate between them. So
Yeah, I mean, you should only own Alonso if you have a good bench. And
yeah,
I mean, if you don't have a good bench, like I have Dallas and Justin on my bench. So that is why I have Alonso. Like I have the luxury. If Alonso doesn't start, then either Dallas or Justin will come in.
yeah.
Otherwise, there's just no point getting in Alonso, in my opinion, because you never know who's gonna start. And there's another risk owning Alonso is what if Chilwell starts and say at around 70 minutes mark, Chilwell is substituted and
Yeah.
Alonso comes in for the last 20. There are risks for sure. So yeah, just go with it because there's so many good defenders out there like Akshay and Kshitij pointed out as well. Lowton and me are Ben Me are really good picks. So you might want to look over there. And the likes of Alonso you should have if you really want to have fun with your transfers. If you don't know what to do, so that is what I did actually. I just wanted to have fun with my transfer. So coming to my team for the coming week. So I am kind of inclined towards Salah for this match against City. He's on penalties and City play a really high backline, which kind of suits Salah. And news are there that Mane could be back for this match. And this trio of Mane, Firmino, and Salah, they have troubled City in the past. So as of now, it is Salah. But yes, Bruno is a firm favorite once again, and it is very very difficult to look beyond him for captaincy. And But yeah, it will depend after I listen to the press cons of Oli and of Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp as well. But the scenario with Fernandes is for Fernandes to excel, I really want Cavani to play because I feel with Cavani in the team, the defense is kind of the defense is already worried because the presence that Cavani has, and that kind of helps Bruno in a way. And if Cavani is not fit for this game because he has an ankle injury, if he's not fit for the game, then I would probably move towards Salah. So that's the thought process. Regarding transfers that I'm willing to make, again, a very good scenario that I have two free transfers and in these two free transfers, last week I removed 𝗖𝗍𝗍 to get in Alonso. And this week, actually, I was so tempted to remove Alonso if he didn't play. I was so tempted to remove Alonso and probably get in somebody like Diaz or a Burnley defender, something like that. But since he started the last match, he has really juicy fixtures. He's playing Sheffield in the next match, and if he again start him, and if Alonso is the one who doesn't come again, like I said, Dallas and Justin would come in. But I have one free transfer and I have to use it. So it will be either Cavani or Johnson. And if Johnson goes out, then Team 𝗗𝗍𝗪 FC is back. And that's what's going to happen. And in case Cavani is injured, then let's see. Maybe Tony Martial will make his way into this team. I owned him till game week 6 until he got that red card against Tottenham. I couldn't help it. And I think he's hitting form at the right time. I really like the player. Because of Cavani, you know, sometimes in the last match, it was like, the likes of Cavani and Fernandes, they already had done the damage. And, Martial just came in and plugged all the fruits. So it's that kind of a season for him. He's playing with a really experienced guy in Cavani up top. And I'm pretty sure that when Cavani is on the field, the other forwards, the other midfielders will benefit because of that presence that he has in the box. The defenders are scared of this guy. And the likes of Martial, Rashford, even Greenwood, everybody is going to have a lot of fun as long as Cavani starts. So, yeah, that's going to be my plan. Probably Martial in for Cavani if Cavani is not fit. And if Cavani is fit, he stays, and Johnson goes out, and Pope comes in for the next four juicy fixtures. So that's how I'm headed at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, interestingly enough, the three of us all targeting Burnley assets for going into game week 3. And Anand, team Nick Pope, love to see it, man. It's been, I think it's the entire season. It's been 22 game weeks, and we haven't really spoken about Nick Pope because for all of us, Superman Emmy Martinez is almost kind of took his place as a goalkeeper this season. But I definitely love to see it, man. Um, Anand, again, staying with you, when you look at fixtures, I know, I mean, Liverpool and City is the game to look forward to, and United and Everton might also be pretty interesting. Apart from these game week, any other game week that you particularly feel that might be really interesting, and other FPL managers, if are looking for assets to target, which team should they target it from?
So I'm really scared because of two fixtures with Brom versus Spurs. So Spurs are not looking good at the moment, like Akshay, you and we discussed in the last episode as well, how Sonny is missing Harry is like big time. But West Brom, they don't know how to defend at the moment, and a lot of people are removing Son from the team, but a lot of guys do have because they are probably not considering how bad Spurs are playing, and they still like Son for that matter. And probably this is the game where Son explodes once again. So this player, I'm a little bit scared of Spurs personally, and I think even if with the bad form, Son is not a bad player to have. And there's another fixture which is West Ham versus Fulham. So the last time Antonio met a relegation threatened team was Norwich, and he ended up scoring 4 goals. So again, really scared from this match as well. What Antonio is going to do against that centre back pairing? I hope Areola is Superman that night. But apart from that, I really feel that West Ham can end up scoring a lot of goals because West Ham, they like crossing the ball a lot of times, and that's where Fulham struggles. Like in every matches, you know you'll see um, Fulham conceding goals from set pieces. So that's something that has been a norm for them. Also, another match that I personally feel can be the return of Danny Ings is Newcastle. Newcastle are without Jamal Lewis, they're without Lascelles, they're without Fernandes. So their whole backline is kind of injured. Yedlin is not allowed to play because of his visa issues. He's probably left the team. And so Newcastle, they have a lot of struggle over there. And just the right match for Southampton to bounce back, hearing Kyle Walker-Peters and Westergaard are back in training and all are not far away. So can be a really good game for Danny Ings owners, and probably if somebody's bringing in Danny Ings. So these are the fixtures that I feel can be can be rewarding for FPL managers.
Yeah, absolutely. And not forgetting about how Southampton bounced back last season after conceding 9 to Leicester City. So that is something, again, it's great. Would be, amazing to look forward to as to how Southampton react. Akshay, what are your closing thoughts, man, before we end this episode? Any fixtures that you are scared of, or any FPL asset particularly that you're worried that you don't have and might score a lot of points? Do you agree with Anand? If so, Son, who else? And anybody else that we might have missed out?
No, I absolutely agree on Zon. Like, if you have him, why transfer him out now before a nice fixture? So if you have already removed him, don't go back to him, because doing that week in week out is not going to do anything to your team. It's just going to waste your transfer. So if you still have him, I would hold on him and maybe take a cheeky punt on captaining him, because you never know. Spurs might come out of the blocks against West Brom, and West Brom have been leaky at the back. So Son might get lucky. And if you remember the reverse fixture also, he got a golden chance, and he missed that chance, if I remember correctly. So he might be lucky there. And talking about other fixtures, I am keen to see the Burnley versus Brighton. Uh, it's going to be a snooze fest, to be really honest. So keen to see that. And yeah, I would just like to wrap up with talking about your captain picks, because I saw Salah in Anand's team, and I had Bruno, and you are going for Bruno as well. So any other you're going for Antonio, sorry. So any other captaincy punts that people might go for this game week?
I personally do, like Antonio, like Anand said, last time he faced a relegation battling team, now which he ended up scoring 4. And also Antonio, since after coming back, has been a legend. He's been returning in almost every game that since he's back. And I think Fulham are the kind of team that if you want to, like you were talking about the cheeky punt on a captain like Son, since I don't have him anymore, and United and Liverpool and City all have like tricky fixtures, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think a safer bet for me, kind of given my FPL assets, would be Antonio or Souček. But definitely, if I want to go safe, I might definitely be looking at either Bruno or Martial. Definitely nobody from the Liverpool and City game. And also, I would like to talk about give a shout out on my fear of not owning Bamford and Rafinha, where Leeds play Crystal Palace. So that is a game that I'd be
Oh
looking
yes.
forward to.
Oh yes. How
And
did I miss
Yeah.
that?
and
So
yeah,
in the reverse fixture, Palace did score a lot of goals. Okay, and
Just hoping
they
for
will be
that.
without probably Zaha in this match.
exactly. So I think their firepower, they might be lacking some creativity and firepower as well. So that is Bamford, Rafinha, Dallas, for that matter, are some FPL assets that I'm scared of. Anand, what like in one word or one asset, who would you recommend for an differential captain pick this game week?
Bruno is no longer differential after 17 points. So he would have been a differential captain pick probably, because if Salah would have performed last match, a lot of people would have gone for Salah this week. I think Salah is a decent differential captain this game week. On, but I think it has to be between Bruno. So this is like a trio that I feel in my head. It's between Salah, KDB, and Bruno, and KDB is not fit. So the safest choices will be Bruno and Salah. And because Salah are blind, probably a lot of people will not captain him this
Yeah.
game week, and because of that, he becomes sort of a differential captain.
Yeah, makes sense. Akshay, your differential captain pick before we end this?
Cresswell.
Oh, good shout. Good shout, man. Good shout. Great shout. Yeah,
He's the
and
highest scoring defender, by the way. Joint highest scoring
absolutely,
defender.
absolutely. Joint highest scoring defender. West Ham, again, like we've mentioned, like quite a lot of times, are hitting form. Their assets are playing pretty nicely, and the team in general as a whole is doing pretty well as well. And yeah, boys, I think that's that for Game Week 23. The deadline's approaching soon, and it's been great talking as always. FPL is something that keeps us connected, like we've mentioned here at the FPL Escapades family. To all of our listeners and supporters, thank you so much. If you like our content, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel. All of our social media links are in the description. Please go ahead and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We hope that you've enjoyed this episode of FPL Escapades. I hope you have a good one. And as always, may the arrows be with you.